people make we shout, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun the command of the masses, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun they are the political, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah. This one not they off in mind, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk, say, make we no talk. But thank God, say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah. My people make you shout, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun the command of the masses, yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun diary political, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah. This man not the off in mind, oh yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come, oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, do IPOB, oh Mary, oh Nindizu, oh Nigeria, Abakare. Mama Daora, Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi go onye do IPOB. O Mary Nizu, Biruya, Abakare, Mama Daora, Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nnamdi.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀, làwọn tó jódodo.
Mayegun diary,
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
Mayegun diary,
lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun diary,
gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary,
àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò ní.
Good evening to you once again, good afternoon to you, and good morning to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary,
Mayegun diary political.
Mayegun diary,
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary,
ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹ́kọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun diary,
àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary,
àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn rà kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
ọba bá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
And yes, right.
Thank you. Share the broadcast. Invite your friends and invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them again.
Presido Barufi, and yes, right. Igoni Nakowo jẹ, and yes, right. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí fa, and yes, right. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o, and yes, right. Òmìnira olóṣèlú.
Thank you once again. And this is it. Yeah. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live. And if you have taken your time to read the caption of this broadcast, it will be easier for you to kind of settle in. So if you have done that already, I'm going to say you are welcome. So the pictures you've just seen on your screen are the images, released by the governor of Anambra State, and that is Charles Soludo, who visited the leader of IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra. You have been told a lot. You have read a lot. And the way it seems on so many of us, the Nigeria propaganda is doing wonders. So tonight, I want to point at the significance of this. I am the GO of the Temple of Truth that you all know as Mayegun's Diary Politico. And I want to urge you to possibly just take a moment to listen and let your emotion take the back seat tonight. There's so much going on, of course. But I just want to speak to rational minds and what can be the significance or otherwise of that visit, especially now. Many of us continue to say, if there's any crime committed by Nnamdi Kanu, Nigeria as the prosecuting country, they have the right to present their evidence. Not the kangaroo style that we all know is a plot to keep him away while they kill innocent people that they will end up blaming on him. Most of the time, that's exactly what is happening now. But in the midst of all of that, there is something significant that I actually want to point out, and I actually want to elaborate on, among other things, tonight. Because when our own man, Oloye Sunday Adeyemo Igboho, came under the attack of this Nigeria state, as much as we have witnessed the loudness of the silence of those who are supposed to be the heads in Yoruba land, including the political actors, none of them in this time around is ever bold enough to publicly associate with Oloye Sunday Igboho. But as it is right now, where everyone is IPOB member and where referendum or a demand for referendum is now considered as a crime in the book of Nigeria, even though there is no part of the law that actually punishes you if you decide that you want to succeed or you want a referendum, even though there is no referendum in their fake constitution. At the same time, because their constitution never stated anything about referendum, their constitution never also stated any punishment for it. So they decided to also criminalize it by saying you are violent. However, in the face of all of this, Soludo showed face. Some of you have seen the pictures and you have read your own meaning to it. You have every right to read every meaning to it. And guess what? You are probably right. Whatever you think or whatever your instinct tells you, the purpose of Soludo's visit was yesterday. Whatever your instinct tells you, You are probably right. But you know one other thing you should never miss out on is probably to listen to others who also have some observations that you have zeroed in on because they will never matter. Possibly they do. This is where I always love to play the card of nobody is right, nobody is wrong, especially if we are all finding solution to get out of a logjam, to get out of a quagmire, something that has become so mopped up, even when bodies are piling up. So you listen to other kind of views that you probably have missed out. The political part of it, the statement part of it, the advantage of this to the entire struggle on its own, and at the same time, the moral booster that this should be on the positive side are what I want to speak about tonight. And I hope, you get what I mean? I hope you will listen with an open mind again. So, once again, I'm going to say thank you for joining me, because for those who are just joining, or if this is your first time or second time of listening to Mayegun or of watching Mayegun, you haven't probably decided to stay back, subscribe, and stay here. I'm going to ask you to probably do that if you would love to. At the same time, if you haven't really shared this broadcast, I am going to ask you to please, maybe you should do that in the next 10, 15 seconds. Let us all do that quickly. That's it. In the media in Nigeria today, the quest, or should I say, the advocacy, or probably the popular word that the media love to use, agitation for self-determination that is now spreading across the length and breadth of Nigeria today. Started from the marginalization that has been like age-long marginalization that we have all acknowledged, but at the same time, we are so scared to discuss. So in their media, they now helped their government, the government and the system that you have today in Nigeria, to criminalize the demand for conversation around everything that we consider as our differences, and discuss if we really want to go ahead as a country, or we want to part ways as a different countries but neighbors. This conversation, as their media would do it, as the denial of this conversation, right, has made their media to join their government to criminalize it. And today, this is why Nnamdi Kanu is considered as one of those who are hell-bent, determined to see Nigeria broken up, especially the emergence of Biafra. And there are so many interests, conflict of interest here and there, to the point that the arrowhead of those who are actually against the Biafra are actually the Biafrans themselves. So this is where the internal weakling came in. And when Nnamdi Kanu came to the picture, number one, he reminded the Biafrans of who they are. He also reminded them of who they would have been if the Biafra that they had in 1967 to 1970 was sustained. And he also reminded them of how much Nigeria continued to live in denial of what happened. In the long run, he managed to appeal to the multitude of the Biafrans all over the world. This is the primary threat that made the political class, who were supposed to provide a sort of a political cover, security for him, for the movement and ensure that the hawks, who are actually the owners of Nigeria, never laid their fingers on him. But remember, his messages, his preachings, no matter how much it sounded to you, has reminded the Biafrans that they could be what Nigeria denied them, and they can still do it. So this is where the political class have ignored for so long. Now, rather than provide a sort of a sanctuary, let the Biafrans feel safe in Biafra land, the political class invited the military. They invited them. And it can't be like people where we want born before. They can't go bath with petrol. They opened door for this. So the media also followed suit. And like I said, in the Nigeria in the Nigerian public today, if you mention Biafra, you are automatically looked at somehow like, oh, you are the people who want to break Nigeria, because according to them, with the workings of the government, the politicians, the media, I mean, local and international, because I just heard that BBC they've also joined in helping to report biased one side of the story, ignoring the real side of the story, and then round it up to a pre-planned conclusion. IPOB, blame them. So if you are watching me right now from all over the world, and somehow you are feeling sorry for me, thinking, is Mayegun trying to convince you to see IPOB in the good light? No. I am actually trying to let you or remind you what is fact from fiction, and then let you decide. You see, if you now choose to believe the lies, at least you won't say you never know the truth. That's what I'm doing. And secondly, because I understand the politics of all this crisis in Eastern Nigeria, which has now led to the death of thousands of innocent people, and why they have been judicially killed, they are being blamed in death. And many of you, somehow, you are finding it so hard not to agree with what they are telling you. Now, I am not here to convince you. In fact, I am not here to make you change your mind about IPOB. I'm actually here to help you present the facts from fiction and let you decide. They were supposed to be protected. The people that were supposed to protect them, they felt the threat that if Nnamdi Kanu should by any means realize the power of what his messages have done on the people, if he should realize it, he, Nnamdi Kanu, can wake up one morning and tell the Biafrans to arrest all of their political leaders, past and present, and they will do it. That Nnamdi Kanu can start a civil war that can send all of the political elites and whatever in Eastern Nigeria out, including those who even feels like they have nothing to do with Nigerian system, they are just businessmen. Many of them felt threatened. And before all these things happening today, all of these things you are witnessing today, before they got to this level, remember when they were protesting with flags, when they are protesting with all these colorful and appearances all over the place, people were already saying, hey, look at the level these people are growing. Look at these numbers. Look at all these things. If people don't do something fast, I don't know how many of you will still remember that. I'm talking about 2015, 2016, 2017. Oh, before they even arrested Nnamdi Kanu, what am I saying? I'm talking about 2013, 2014, 2015. You are already saying it before a jihadist government that would divide Nigeria, divide Nigerians, came to power. Because if not for Buhari, don't let us forget, if it is not for Buhari's selfish personal hatred for the Igbos, which is obvious, number one, he would never have arrested Nnamdi Kanu. Yeah? Number two, there will never be any reason to kill or arrest any IPOB members because there was never a reason for that. IPOB existed before Buhari came on. They have been everywhere before APC came on. But within 6 months of APC, Egbekegbe, Buhari decided to arrest Nnamdi Kanu in Lagos. Remember that? And that moment, it was to trigger that, oh, if they don't do something about this IPOB, they are going to become like Masob. Oh, they are going to become like Boko Haram. Many of you have already been projecting that on them. So the system is just taking advantage of what they believe that you are going to welcome as a good action against people who are demonstrating with flags, camera phone, selfie stick, and placard, singing Uzobu Zobu Eiba Uzobu. Yet they are carrying placard, flag, cell phone. The whole world was watching. Buhari did not ignore them. Buhari decided, he said he was going to crush them. And that was the beginning of what you are now witnessing today. So when Nnamdi Kanu was arrested in 2015, that put to test who exactly is this Nnamdi Kanu. Is he just a non-entity? Is he just a nobody? Is he just a charlatan? Is he just a noisemaker? Who is this guy? When he was arrested, that question was answered. You all still remember what went down the first time they arrested Nnamdi Kanu. At that point, some people also started feeling like, what is so special about this guy? Simply because the moment Buhari's government, tyrannical government, the same government that was still going to go ahead and kill thousands of Shiites, the same government that is still going to go ahead and kill protesting youth, the same government that is still going to go ahead and kill and kill and kill. So when they started killing the innocent IPOB members, many of you who felt like the government should do something about this IPOB. The government should do something about this IPOB. So meanwhile, the same government, the same politicians, they were already feeling threatened. As threatened as Buhari was, he had no audacity to invade Eastern Nigeria without the support of the Igbo politicians. I will keep reminding you. Okay? I will continue to remind you. Now, people wanted to know, is this Nnamdi Kanu really significant? Does it really matter? Why is everybody paying attention to him? But many of those asking these questions, they are people who are not living inside who are not living in Igbo land. It is during this time when they brought in Operation Python Dance 1, Python Dance 2, Python Dance 3. Why were the Pythons dancing? They said they wanted to crush IPOB. And when they tell you that IPOB are this or that, and why are the people like us continue to remind you that before the government, before the politicians changed the narrative, before their media fed you with everything you are witnessing today, IPOB is exactly this, this type of people. Look around you, look at them, and tell me that you are seeing terrorists, old, young. You know what I mean? Look at them.
Oh, you do IPOB. Oh, Mary, Abakare, Mama Daura, Ulapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Ulapuri Mary Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Ulapuri Mary Nnamdi go onye do IPOB. O Mary Nizu mbiro ya Abakare Mama Daura Unapuri Napoli Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Who Napoli Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Who Napoli Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Who Napoli Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Who Napoli Mary Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two. Now Python that's the three. Who Napoli Mary Nnamdi.
That is what IPOB mean to an ordinary Biafran, ordinary Igbo in Igbo land. Today, the real picture that was IPOB. But like I said, there are many factors that feel threatened with the spread of IPOB messages. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu is always like, yeah, we will do this, we will do that, and all of that. Have you ever heard about psychological warfare before? Psychological warfare is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was doing on Nigeria. And that is to say, if you want war, if you want this, our people are ready to die for Biafra, we are ready to do this and that. That doesn't mean that you should go and kill them when they have committed no crime. But do you understand what Biafra should mean, or the Biafra conversation should mean, or Oduduwa Republic conversation should mean? I'm talking about meetings like that, where people sit down to come and listen to why should they even be part of Biafra again. Where communities, villages, leaders, elders, young people, everybody come together to discuss what is vital to them. Because when the day comes to say, oh yeah, come and decide if you want to be part of Nigeria or not, these are the people who are going to vote in a referendum. But once they allow that message to spread in Eastern Nigeria, where people are meeting, discussing, and all of that. And let me tell you something. When you are discussing referendum, when you are discussing that we want to break away, you don't really have to say any good thing about the country you want to break away from. I participated in Indie Ref 1 in Scotland, right? And I as an immigrant in the UK, living in a part of UK that wanted to secede from UK, Scotland. So I participated in their independence referendum at the time. And people said a lot of horrible things about the Union, horrible things about England, terrible, terrible things about, Scottish people on TV, on radio. There were programs. They said horrible things. They can never be part of it anymore. This UK is this. It's a slavery. And guess what? They were given a referendum because there were also Scottish people who felt like, no, they were wrong. You guys, you nationalists, you want to destroy this country. You want to destroy these people. You want to make us poorer, pensioners, everybody. But guess what? Before the day of a referendum, the things that matter to people, conversations that matter to them, you know what I mean? Their pension, their healthcare, their education, their children, you know what I mean? Their housing, so many things, security, defense, economy, things that affects them, including garden, public what do you call them? Public gardens. These were important things that were thrown into conversation around the referendum. So if Nigeria did not criminalize the conversation around the Biafra referendum, you see that video you saw there, that's exactly what it should be like. Because as you're having that meeting, you can say anything. We don't want to be part of Nigeria anymore. Nigeria is this or that, yeah? Yeah, you can say that. That should never get you killed. Do you get that now? But because the system criminalized it, yeah? So every gathering, every conversation around it, every public association with it, yeah, is a crime. And whatever you see, you get, whatever you see, you take it. So now, when they now militarized, you see, when the politicians in Eastern Nigeria, who are also receiving report of these meetings. And these were meetings of, what do you call it, local folks who were discussing things that affect them, and they believe that if they are on their own, they will never have to suffer this way. They will never have to go through all of this humiliation that they are going through in Nigeria. They are discussing what affects them. They are discussing their marginalization, right? For those who are actually partner in making them that vulnerable, the Igbo politicians, the Igbo political office holders, tradition, all of them elites, who kept either by keeping quiet or by participating in dwindling the fortune of Eastern Nigeria in the Project Nigeria. In Project Nigeria. Because that's the same thing with us in Yoruba land. The people who are supposed to speak for us, in the Project Nigeria, they have joined the looting spree. They are the ones who are holding us down for Nigeria to do all of these things that are happening to us. Unemployment, insecurity, no infrastructure, no healthcare, no good education, no good paying job or better. All these things that Nigeria is doing to us inside Nigeria today, that those who are supposed to speak for us as Yorubas on that table where they are discussing about everybody in Nigeria, they are not speaking there for us. So that's what happened in Eastern Nigeria. Even though when many people were saying, who is this Nnamdi Kanu? Who is this Nnamdi Kanu? It was a big thing. It was a threat. That's the part they didn't tell you. And they had to do everything and anything to discourage this move, including because according to them, right, they said Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB, they were going to be out of hand for the politicians in Eastern Nigeria. So they needed the federal help. The federal help is the help they got from the devil, Bokwari. And that was what brought in the military. And guess what? The politicians then, they were even bragging openly that they brought the military. But what they didn't tell you, they told you that they brought the military to stop the spread of IPOB. Because all this thing Nnamdi Kanu is talking, some people are already killing people. But guess what? Is it not the job of government to find the criminals who committed crimes? If you go out and you commit crime in the name of IPOB, are you not supposed to be responsible for that if the law is actually alive? But because one of the reasons why the IPOB and the Biafrans continue to demand that they don't want to be part of Nigeria is because Nigeria is lawless. There is no law. The people there don't obey their own laws. Do you get that now? So you can be walking on the street and they will grab you, and then before you know it, they will say you are a member of a gang who killed the police DPO yesterday. And that's it. The media will record that, and then they will spread that, and that's it. On to the next one. That's part of the reasons why they said they don't want to be part of Nigeria anymore. A lawless place where everyone can do whatever they like, whenever they like. All of this to stop this Nnamdi Kanu. All these billions they are spending, all these crimes they are committing, and dumping them at the stairs of the IPOB, as you have seen, all just to stop to like this guy, we must decimate him. But if people are now committing crimes, it is the job of the government to track them and nip them in the mud or in the bud, they say. But when the government is already the one doing it, when I say government, I'm talking about the politicians. So in 2017, I believe, the politicians in Eastern Nigeria realized that things have gone out of hands. And in their rabbit hole, they were able to make a deal to get Nnamdi Kanu out on bail. But part of the deal was that Nnamdi Kanu will never be found around people who are more than 3 people. You can't see him more. I mean, if you see Nnamdi Kanu, it must be in the midst of just 2 or 3 people. You can't see him in the midst of the crowd. But you can't contain him. That is absolute rubbish. And they also told him that he must never do the broadcast. Don't do your broadcast. We don't want you to talk anymore until this case is over. And that's impossible. So from day 2 of his release, is it day 2 or day 1? From the day he was said he was to be released, whatever deal they made, whatever agreement the politicians came to, whatever anything, what happened was that Nnamdi Kanu was what? It was released. And there is this saying that as a freedom fighter, you are destined for 3 things. You are either in prison, or you are in exile, or you are in the grave. And they said none of these 3, destiny as they are, can be chosen by you if you are a true freedom fighter, they say. But at the same time, a chained lion, a caged lion, is of no use where ordinary sheep, goats are bleeping and bragging. Nnamdi Kanu is of no use to anybody being locked up. And that's why I told you then that those who conspired and used the instrument of state to stage all of these things you are witnessing today, just to stop this guy and stop that conversation becoming the general conversation, something they are avoiding so terribly bad. I don't care what deal they make. I don't care who comes and visits or what have you. But the point here is this. Nnamdi Kanu has become a factor, a very good and powerful one. Like him or hate him, he's become one to the point that even the fear today, I don't know if you have thought about this, the fear today is, can Nnamdi Kanu even stop the fire burning inside the Biafrans? Today, can he even manage the fire anymore by telling them to slow down and open up to dialogue, which obviously is eventually going to be the case. Dialogue. Some people are now scared that Nnamdi Kanu has started the fire. He has opened the people's eyes to the point that he can no longer undo what has been done now. That can he even tell people anymore to slow down? That is the fear, or an answer or a question that we are waiting to get an answer to. Because today, the same Nnamdi Kanu, who now became so much of a threat that even Nigeria, they couldn't wait for the day of his court appearance before they sent soldiers to kill him. Operation Python Dance. They killed 28 innocent people, harmless youth, in front of Nnamdi Kanu's house that day. Some of you laughed, you mocked them, you said they died for their leader, but you are not paying attention to what is really going on. You are not. The thing is that the people have seen something that many of you wish they never seen. The people have heard things that many of you will wish that they never heard. And at this point, your rhetoric, your kind of violence, blackmail, and every other thing that you might push their way, seems to further radicalize even more of them. From the moderate level of we are not fighting you, All we are saying is that just let us start the process of a referendum, a conversation around, do we still want to be part of Nigeria or not? And that's an opportunity for those who are Biafrans who still want to be part of Nigeria to also what? To tighten their belt and jump to the field and convince their fellow brothers and sisters that Biafra is not the answer. Because you see, as it is right now, it is obvious that people have heard things that you wish they never heard. People have seen things that you wish they never seen. And people have been, people have been made to exhume things that many of you believe that they should remain buried, to the point that today, when they kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya, which was done illegally too. Are you with me? So every action of Nigeria continue to amplify the spirit of many unseen before Biafrans who are now believing that every kind